This was happening. This is what you did. You did this. You did this. You did this.
Happen,
good, y'all. It's your boy Pat. Back at it again. We'll do it live. I got a whole desk now. I got a whole desk. Hey, this the size of the desk when he was so mad, bro. Okay, we'll do it live. Oh, God. Oh, excuse me.
See, leave it to Pat.
Your cards are scared of you after that first outburst.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love.
Tan stuff.
As always, man, a lot to get to on today's episode. Could the Chicago Bears convince Jim Harbaugh to come home? Yeah. That's about the reaction I expected on that.
Okay.
And then, of course, Bears actually the odds-on favorite to land Chase Young in this at the trade deadline. Should the Bears be in on Chase Young? I mean, listen, we got a lot of problems here, but fixing the defense would begin to help with some of it, especially just being able to get pressure. We'll talk about all that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze. Tyson Bajan expectations as well. We got the intro ready. We good to go with the intro?
Hopefully the audio works. Let's do it.
Let's go.
And I don't think so. Oh.
It's go time.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. We got some of the squad in the building, right? We got the super producer Joel Holt in the building. Oh, shiny today. And then we got JC, always coming through, showing love.
What's good?
Dang, that light is not helping at all. Appreciate the love, though. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. The pettiest man alive, all the way out in Indianapolis, Indiana, wherever he's from. Nobody knows.
I'm driving from Indianapolis for this show.
You need some more money. That's what needs to happen if you're driving from Indianapolis for this show. Let's jump into the first segment, boys, because I mean, listen, there is some interesting things happening around the football world. Let's start it off here with Jim Harbaugh. To me, Harbaugh is a guy that at a minimum is a really, really good leader. Now, as far as everything else that goes with it, right, he would have to be able to go out and get an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, all of that stuff. But question on the table today, should the Chicago Bears be in on Jim Harbaugh if they could convince him to leave Michigan? Now, the reason I say that is because Jim Harbaugh – don't it feel like he goes through a scandal every 3 months, bro?
Hey.
Like every time we hear about this Michigan program, it seems like there's some kind of scandal that's going on. I mean, listen, I'd love to see him go out there and win a national championship, but at the end of the day, if we're being 100% honest with all of this, they're catching Jim up on something every other week. He started the season off with a 3-week suspension. Right now, we've got a sign stealing scandal coming in, which I mean, listen, it could just mean that he's taken from the Bill Belichick example of let's go out here and get some dubs. I'm not mad at it, but what are your thoughts on it, man?
Well, first of all, like you said before the show started, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He says that he has no knowledge about what's occurred and that there was these unnamed individuals that went to go scout future opponents. But to your question, do you think that he obviously would be a good candidate for the Bears if they could kind of pull him away from this? I'm on the fence with that because I think no and yes. Yes, because he has had a track record when he was in the NFL with the 49ers and he coached Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
They got to the Super Bowl. So you have that same type of quarterback in Justin Fields who hopefully if he gets another shot at being the guy here, yeah, he would be a good fit because he's actually coached that type of quarterback. But then I'd say no because – you have better options. Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, all those other guys, I would obviously take over him.
Ooh, are they better options, though? I think that's the real question when you look at it, right? Like, I mean, Joe, I don't have no camera control, brother. You gotta switch that camera.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
I don't have no camera control here.
Sorry, just multitasking.
Oh no! Yeah, first off,
super producer.
Hey, shout out to the super producer, bro, because he was fully ready to go home and traffic stopped him, and he was like, "Forget it, I'll just do the show." Like, yo, this man, Chicago traffic is so bad, you can leave and get into Chicago traffic, and then go, "Nope, I'm going."
Nope.
It took a half an hour to get to like 79th Street. I was like, you know what?
Oh my God,
I'm turning around because I left. What was it, 5?
You left at 5. Yeah,
it's 5.
It took you a half an hour to get to 79th Street.
I was like, forget it, I'm turning around.
All right. But no, I will say this about Jim Harbaugh as far as is he who's a better candidate versus him, Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, guys that you named there. The biggest question that I would have with all of it is, I know that Ben Johnson can call plays. Guess what? I also know that Josh McDaniels is a heck of a play caller. He's a really good play caller. He's an elite play caller. He's not a good head coach, and all of a sudden he can't call plays anymore because of all the duties that he has to take on. At a minimum, the one thing that I know is Jim Harbaugh is he's a good head coach. He's not an elite head coach. He's a good head coach. But can he bring people in who will be able to be under him and consistently bring success? Whoever's under center on the offensive side of the football. We've seen good offenses with him as the head of the snake there, but you know, I wonder if having that proven guy is the better option. Now, I told y'all my dream scenario is Ben Johnson. I would rather, because I want the next Mike McDaniels. I want the next Kyle Shanahan. I want the next, go get Cliff Kingsbury because he's got experience doing it and he's already out there and not working anywhere, right? I want to get to me, that's best of both worlds. Kia, what's your thoughts?
I'm with you. I want someone more established. I like the theory of Jim. I like the narrative. I mean, it sounds good. It's a nice feel-good story for those who like it. But ultimately, when you say Eric Bieniemy, Ben Johnson, those are the names I'm looking at first. Those are the names I feel like they are still in the league. They know how to command a locker room to at least to some degree, or lead a group of professional football players to some degree. How long has Jim been coaching football, college football?
I mean, Jim's been coaching, 2014, 2015, something like that. I mean, he took the Niners to the Super Bowl in what, 2011?
Yeah, but
after that,
football was so different 13 years ago. It's a whole different.
But his football wasn't. Colin just couldn't throw.
He never really was a good quarterback. They just had a good system.
Well, he could run.
An amazing
defense. Right. That's what I'm saying. He could run. They had a system that they tailored an offense to his ability. They want to play to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think that I don't know. I mean, Jim Harbaugh would be nice. I don't think that's happening. I think he's the king of Michigan. He's the king of Ann Arbor.
He's a god in Michigan.
Right. He is the god of Ann Arbor. He's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And he could have came if he wanted to. You know, I think there was an opportunity for him to leave when we were looking at a coach. I think he signed an extension, didn't he? Didn't he just?
He did, yes. But I think the question comes from having to continue to fight through red tape. Think about also the fact that when Jim Harbaugh got to Michigan, there was no NIL. You weren't dealing with you weren't dealing with, I mean, the wild west of free agency, if we're being 100% honest, right? This isn't even like, hey, you can work with the companies that you want, but the NFL has to approve this company for you to be able to work with them. This is like, hey, kid, we got an extra $150,000 for you to shoot our commercial this weekend. You available? You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where I often wonder how many of those guys who came in before a lot of these big changes happened are going to stick around through them. I mean, heck, right? Like when the NIL deals come into place, all of a sudden guys like Nick Saban don't look like the greatest guy in the world because they're not getting the best talent in the world. Why? Because I can't just pay guys under the table and they're going to be the best guy to go out there and do it. You know what I mean? Like I can't just walk into some kid's house and be like, here's $150,000. The kid look at you and be like, "Hey, bro,
hey, what is Matt Eberflus' contract?" I just want to ask this: what is Matt Eberflus making with the Bears?
You asking the wrong person. I couldn't even tell you. I feel like Matt Eberflus and Billy
Statman, look that up.
I'm on it right now.
The reason I asked is because Jim Harbaugh is making $7.5 million a year.
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but I mean, you look at it like he's going to get paid $22.5 million over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't think Eberflus is cracking that.
Eberflus is making 4.5. But Eberflus is also a head coach that came in with no experience. Eberflus is also a head coach who was a DC before that, right? You got to make your name. When you get to being the guy, you can crack the 4.5. You can crack the, you know what I mean? But Flus coming in wasn't going to be able to crack that. So
Yeah.
I think if you bring Jim Harbaugh back, you spend that level of money, in my opinion.
I mean, even Mike McDaniel, who's they're ambiguous, is around 3 to 4 million. Like Jim Harbaugh's making twice as much as a lot of football head coaches.
Yeah,
so
but
it comes to the headache he wants. Does he want the headache? Does he want the pay cut? Like, are the Bears going to even pay him what he's worth? Like, if I'm him, I'm not coming to the Bears for less than what I make.
he's going to get paid. Trust me, he's going to get what he wants. There's got nothing to do with them. The Bears technically aren't actually cheap. They spend money. They just don't necessarily scout very well, and they don't necessarily have the right structure in place when it comes to building their teams. They'll pay a guy. It's just that I don't see them doing it where it makes sense. We don't know what Kevin Warren's going to do. Kevin Warren, we were talking about that before the show earlier. Like, he's probably going to keep polls, and they're going to hopefully bring in a new coaching staff when maybe they blow this whole thing up. But what if Harbaugh was to come here, which I don't think is going to happen? He's going to get whatever he wants. He might get what? Was Gruden getting like 10 million a year?
Gruden was getting like 10 million. Gruden was getting crazy.
Yeah, he's in that tier because he has won. He has success, and they're doing well in Michigan. It's finally, clicking for him.
Flus is at $4.5 million a year.
I mean, listen,
but he's a rookie, first time head coach.
Gruden had that his teams by the golden hat. So I mean, like, it's a different world for Gruden. I'm sorry, I can't even compare the two right there. So I mean, but I feel you though. I mean,
what I'm saying is that coach can make about 10 mil or so in a year. That's all I'm saying. So if he's making 7, he can command that type of money.
Yeah. No, 100%. To me, the idea of Jim Harbaugh is more of that to me would speak to Kevin Warren stepping in, right? Because Kevin Warren, who was a part of the Big Ten, who was a leader there, probably has done a lot around Jim Harbaugh. By the way, shout out Rodney with the super chat. Jim took the Niners to 3 out of 4 NFC championships. He is an elite coach. There's something to be said there. I can't sit here and tell you that you guys are wrong on that. I mean, like, I'm willing to have the conversation on elite. It is something we always think of elite as the winners, and it is, right? The guys who win multiple Super Bowls and different things like that. But I mean, that it is a feat to say I took my team to 3 out of 4 NFC championships, especially when we look at, dang, Alex Smith's career is kind of elite because 2 of those are with Alex Smith. One of them is.
And he got cheated out of a Super Bowl.
You really think they cut them lights off on purpose?
Who cuts the power off?
You think they cut them lights off?
Who didn't
on
pay
purpose,
their comment
bro?
bill for the game? Have you ever seen that? Them jokers was up, and then all of a sudden, the power's out.
But why did that cause them to lose, bro? Everybody was like, oh, well, they lost the momentum after that. They're like, nah, dog.
I'm just channeling my inner Paris. That's all. I'm just,
what though?
That's all.
Somebody mentioned a little bit earlier. I wanted to mention it from the chat that if we were to say hypothetically get him in the building, he would want to be the GM and pretty much have his hand in every single
that's not
decision.
Would
that be a problem?
I don't know if he would want to be the GM.
He doesn't need to,
because I'm not gonna lie to you. Coming from the college situation that he's in right now, like, he probably wants something where it's like, hey, yo, like a lot of times when you see guys that have that GM role of the head, or they're the guy that has to go out and do all the scouting and all that stuff. A lot of times when they go into a different role, they be like, listen, I want to get paid more money to do less and just do what I want to do, which is coach a team. And I could see Jim coming back to the Bears and being more in on that. I'm not even going to start, like, because for me, if it were me and I'm in Jim Harbaugh's shoes, dealing with NIL, dealing with having to kiss up to all these parents and all of that stuff, dealing with, I'm going to turn your son from a boy to a man. Every single house you go to, knowing you, like, bro,
the coach voice is
when
hilarious.
You get up out of here, bro, like, I just hope you make the NFL.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm watching you in class. It's not good. I just think that he would want to come to Chicago and be like, all right, listen, or not want to come to Chicago, but if he wanted to come back to the NFL, he would be like, listen, give me the coaching job. I want to go out here and try and win championships. I think the thing is, and this would be the one situation, right, where if he finally had success at Michigan and this Michigan team, maybe they can go win a natty. Maybe. I guess it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's Michigan. Like they're playing well, but I never trust Michigan. But if they get an opportunity to go win a natty and he's able to do that, right, then do we see him say, okay, I accomplished the highest feat here. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to go make more money somewhere else. But it's also, the flip side of it is like Joel said. He's God in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, why would you want to leave?
There's a scandal going on, and the last thing that we're questioning is if Michigan is going to fire Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Like, we know he's not going to get fired there.
It's just talk.
I mean, unless he pulls an Allen Williams.
All right, we don't know what
Hello.
Williams did, dog.
We still know what's going on with that.
Nobody knows what happened with Allen Williams.
I don't know what's going on with Allen Williams. You know what I do know? He's not a Bear. So
step down to deal with health and family things, and I don't know what relax. You calm down over there. Sir. You take
a Bear. He's not a Bear.
He's not.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's move on a little bit here, boy. Bear's about to take us down a very dark path. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Every time y'all hit that like button, man, I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but it helps the channel get more viewers in here, which helps us grow and also helps us be able to keep doing this 5 days a week because we broke. No, I'm just playing. But at the end of the day, kid, you mean Mel Tucker? Oh, no, please don't bring. Bro, that'd be the worst, bro. He brings Mel Tucker back, bro. Oh, wait, Mel Tucker is in on the same.
I thought that he was actually good before he came.
I forgot about that.
He's what?
Mel Tucker got a he got a little situation.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
yes, he does.
He had to take a few steps in the wrong direction.
Man, what is with all these brothers?
Hey man, we got to have a emergency call for them to just get right. Dog, what is happening right now? It's way too.
With this man,
I'm just saying.
Said, hey, bro, what is with all these brothers, bro?
Catch a break.
I am done with this dude, dog. Let's just switch topics here before we get in more trouble. Appreciate y'all for showing love, man. Here's the question I also wanted to pose to the chat because the Chicago Bears are the odds-on betting favorite to trade for Chase Young. Should the Chicago Bears be in on Chase Young? Reason I ask this question is because I understand, right, it's going to cost some draft capital. I don't think it's going to cost as much as many people probably think unless somebody goes all in. Like if you have a team go all in, right, like then you got outbid. But they can't pay him. Like they literally, like if they pay him, they basically say, we don't care what the rest of the team does. So they have nothing that – yeah, I mean, like
they paid Deron Payne.
They paid Deron Payne. They paid Montez Sweat. Yeah, I mean, like they literally can't pay him. Should the Chicago Bears trade for Chase Young if he is if he's at a nice price that the Bears can get in on? Because as bad as it is, we still need to fix the defense, and I know he can play.
I mean, he's only 24.
He's very young.
There you go.
He's very young.
But he's come off injury and.
He had the injury, but I mean, this is now year 2 off of the injury. It's not like an offensive lineman having that injury as well. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit different because he kind of gets to play off at times. It's still in a car crash every play, but there are times when he gets to drop back, different things like that. I would love to have a Chase Young here in Chicago. I would love to have a Chase Young here because are you going to find something better than Chase Young in the draft? That's what you have to ask yourself. And again, the Bears can build defenses.
No, he is one of a piece that we need. Like
you
need him. Plus, you still got to go to the draft. And if Yannick doesn't work out, then which sounds like he should because he's still young too. Like I'd rather have a stockpile of defensive linemen.
28.
Yeah, you have a few more years with him. Like, he's still got. I mean. I would go for that. I'm not mad at if they do that trade and it doesn't cost a lot of draft capital to get him.
I'm of the same feeling. I think that if you get outbid for him, okay, fine. But if you have a reasonable price for bringing Chase in this building, that would obviously be the best upgrade for that line because, as we mentioned, Ngakoue is our best guy, and to me, he's he just seems like inconsistent because all the other guys are not doing their job. Like, let's just be real. Yannick is out there on an island.
He's inconsistent. I think he's our only pressure, and nobody else can get to the quarterback.
Exactly.
To force them his way.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, the answer is yes. You have a talent like that's available or potentially available at the break. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's because he's got 3 sacks.
Who, Yannick?
No, Chase. He's got 1.5 against Denver, 1 against Philly, a half a sack against the Bears. I mean, I don't know. The only reason I have somewhat a sense of a concern is like he on that defensive line with all that talent, no one's really, like kicking butt. Like really, it's kind of pedestrian in my like looking at that. He comes here, we still need the D line help. Does Javon Dexter finally take that, that next step?
Yeah. I like me some Dexter.
I don't know.
Man.
Say what, Jordan?
I'm in on it now simply because
I think he's constantly getting better at his craft. Because I think one of the issues that he had was just he had to every time they snapped the ball, he was always too high in his attack. And so once he works on that, but yeah, that tandem, Chase Young, you can build around that.
I'm in on it now simply because the season for us offensively seems to be kind of a wash, and so I think Pose is going to end up rebuilding our offensive line, rebuilding some of our. Maybe we have a decision at QB, different things like that. So I'm in on him trying to get as many quality pieces for our defense now on this side of this year because I don't see it getting much better. I don't think anyone has us going to an NFC championship or anything like that. Like none of that stuff is happening. So you might as well retool one side of the football and then build through the draft for the rest. So I'm in on that one. I like the fact that he was able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts, who has a really good line. I didn't see who was injured or anything like that. So, but it says a lot when you can get pressure and get a sack on an elite team with elite QB, and to know that we need someone of his caliber here. That's why I'm in on it. Outside of that, it means nothing.
I mean, realistically, the only fear is, right, you go out there and you get Chase Young and he helps you win. Right, like at this point, right, you have to pick a direction. One, Tyson Bagent coming in, and we'll talk about some of the expectations with him. But because of what he is on the field, right, he's going to help you win games, especially if you pair him up with a Yannick Ngakoue, even if you still don't have that consistent pressure from the middle in pass rushing. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to make your defense better. A defense that seems like they're catching their wind at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, if the offense was winning.
Real quick, we got to address this. 4 minutes ago, you seen that Justin Fields, they're saying he didn't break his thumb and that he could pop.
We got breaking news here.
Breaking news. He will not need surgery on his thumb, which likely shortens his recovery time. No surgery is coming, according to Ian Rappaport.
That man said, Tyson, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm not gonna. Ooh. So yeah, surgery's off the table.
He's still not gonna play for the next 2 games.
Well, they're saying he's doubtful.
2 games is very different, though.
Yeah, 2 games is better than
2 games
4.
is very different than having surgery and having to go on IR. You said that was from Ian Rappaport?
Yeah, that's off of.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. So that's good news. All right, so we'll come back to that.
No, that is good news. I mean, listen, that's bigger news to me than the hypotheticals, right? Like, if Justin Fields, hold on, Baki, you getting this? I'm sitting here looking at Ian Rappaport. I love Joel, but I don't know if I could trust him as much as I trust.
I mean, I know how to read. It's like right
Joel's like, I can read.
But Joel,
right here.
You're older, Joel. That social media be faking you out, dog.
I was just reading.
Is that Ian Rappaport or Ian Rappaport? You know how Twitter be. Oh, Michael Rappaport.
Is the check next to his name?
Oh, snap.
Is it Ian Rappaport or Michael Rappaport?
Hey, yo, I'm saying Justin Fields is going to be playing. My fault, man.
Hey, that is funny, dog. Hey, I love it. No, if listen, that's huge. If no, Joel is 100% right. I say that reporting good.
There you go.
Thanks, Baki. Yay.
rapper report. Coach T.
Hey, bro. Hey, me and P Kid are scoring. We believed one other person one time, and we was instantly clapping it up on when the Sky won the championship. That's like congrats to the Sky on winning the WNBA championships. We like, oh, let's go. I'm hitting the horn and all of that.
There's a whole quarter left.
My phone. The Sky are up 4 with 5 minutes left. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, dog.
Premature.
I was like, come on, dog. We're not doing this. No, that's huge. If that is the case that Justin Fields doesn't need surgery, I think even more so, right? Like, you do have to ask this question though with Justin. Is this because and it can't both can be true, right? Is this because he actually doesn't need surgery? Or is this because he realizes, hey, this kid might be all right if I sit for 4 weeks? I may not have a job. Or I just don't know what this kid is. If I sit for 4 weeks, that brings, what did we say? That brings him back at the Detroit game, right?
Possibly.
Surgery would be about 4 to 6 weeks. I think that would bring him back around the Detroit game.
Yeah.
I gotta give Courtney Cronin a shout out on this one because she had something, a good co-host of a guest that's been on Pat's show. Go ahead, plug that show right there. The Chicago Bears.
Not a guest, the co-host on the Chicago Bears podcast. Shout out to Courtney.
She's been doing great work, but she mentioned something, and the tone of the conversation has drifted toward this. You don't want to rush him out to put out bad tape, because if he rushes out there, he can't really grip the football. He performs bad. Now you don't have good tape over these next couple of games because you rushed back out there. So it's like it's still one of those things where him rushing back out there means absolutely nothing. Yeah. He ain't put a whole lot on tape in the first place, and it could be a disservice to him to do so.
Kid is 100% right now. He's not going to play this week. He's doubtful this week. I highly doubt he will play this week because of listen, Jimmy G has the back injury as well, so that plays into it. He's out for this game. He is not playing in this game, by the way. I don't know if we had said that already. But also on top of that, you're going with Brian Hoyer, or who was the young dude that Khalil Mack was just murdering that day? I don't remember his name. Khalil Mack got 7 sacks off of him that day, 6 sacks off of him that day. It was not good. I believe that was week 3. So, but to Kid's point, that's exactly what happened to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, what was it, the torn shoulder? He had messed his shoulder up. He went out there. He tried to sit there and fight through it. He said, I'm going to be there for the team because it's my team. I'm going to put them on my back, and we're going to go. And he looked horrible. He looked trash, right? But everybody was like, well, if he really needed surgery, they wouldn't throw him out there. He really needed surgery, and they threw him out there because he wanted to fight through it. And at the end of the day, they got him the heck up out of there. Now, the Browns have not won, and he has since then. But they got him the heck up out of it. Did he have a champion? Does Baker Mayfield have a Super Bowl?
Whoa.
Was he on that team?
You mean behind
on the Rams?
No. On the Rams. Did he go to that team, or was that year before?
That was the year after.
But
that was the year after. Because Stafford ended up getting hurt. Ended up getting hurt. My bad. I tweaked on that one. I had to think about that. I was like, wait a minute, I missed Baker getting a Super Bowl ring. But no, Aiden O'Connell. Shout out to Nunu Johnson in the chat, man. I don't like how I said his name.
Actually, Mike Davidson was first, but
Mike Davidson. Shout out to you too as well. He dropped the O'Connell. I would have never got O'Connell.
That's true.
Hey, listen, I got first name on that one. But no, when you put bad tape out there, right, like it does work negatively against you. I probably don't want to see Justin. I would say sit him 2 weeks.
2 weeks is fair.
2 weeks is what and here's the thing. Realistically speaking, 2 weeks is usually about the time frame where your backup quarterback can come in and look like a godsend. And then on the flip side of it all, if you leave him in for week 3, there's enough tape on him to go, oh, we know how to beat you. Or, like he Brock Purdy's it. Very rarely is there the Brock Purdy.
Dude, this season.
He's not going to have a Brock Purdy opportunity because he doesn't have Brock Purdy installation.
Yeah, like why are we comparing? He's not. This is a dumpster fire. This is it's over. It's over, Pat.
I knew you were going to your Donald Trump.
The season is over.
The season's over.
We went to stop the steal. We didn't stop the steal. And so now
Bears died like a dog.
Over. Like Beijing, he's just gonna, even if he's half decent, he's gonna get killed too.
Now here's the thing I'm gonna stand on though. If the kid plays better, I want to see him on the field. If the kid plays those same whack plays and he's making the reads and he's making the throws that Justin did, I don't care what your affinity is. You got to be a Bears fan over a player. Justin has enough bad tape for me to sit there and say, all right, listen, I don't have enough. Like I know everyone has this affinity for this trash that we've in, but you gave me 4 games out of 3 seasons. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, but see,
I'm
the
not
problem
you're
is,
giving me a lot of run. You've given
don't
me a
like-
lot of run. And for a person they say he wasn't this in college, he ran a lot in college. He ran a ton in college. I already had that debate
no,
with
they
JC. Don't even get
more
into
or less
that.
pass in
This,
college.
this, my favorite part is when people say that, and it's like you have to take Georgia out of it.
No, I took Georgia out. He ran a ton.
He ran for
Hey,
less.
I got the
than
stats
600
on that
yards
one.
in
41
college.
touchdowns passing, 10 touchdowns
You
Got
rushing.
to do your research.
He ran for less
No.
than 600 yards in college.
Yeah, he's not. The problem.
Hold on. Why do I have to take Georgia out if that's part of his college experience?
Because in Georgia, Jake Fromm was ahead of him, and literally they would go,
God.
"Hey, black boy, get in there and run the football."
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
honestly.
I'm just tired of like Justin is getting. You can't ignore those 2 games of Denver and Washington, right? It's not saying that there's some ability. I did say I was worried about fool's gold, but that's not by accident that you do some of those things.
Washington wasn't bad till we beat them, by the way.
But
I
my
keep saying
point is that
Washington wasn't a bad defense until Justin put 30 up on the head.
right,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he's
exactly.
done. We've seen certain games where, again, are we tailoring an offense to this guy's skill set, or are we just trying to make him put a square peg in a round hole? Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of this type of stuff. Like, this play calling is bad.
Yeah.
There's no creativity.
Well, what I will say is this: to Kid's point again, and very rarely am I on Kid's side this much. Right?
whoa.
It's crazy. It's wild out here. But to Kid's point again, if we see those plays like on the first play of the game where you're going 5 out, empty backfield,
Unblocked defense.
He turned his head the
Here's the
right
thing.
way.
Screens.
But
He turned his head the right
confident
way.
quarterback realizes there's 6 at the line. I have 5 blocking.
Right.
Somebody's a free rusher.
Somebody
If I see Tyson Bagent in those moments go set, hut, turn, plant, throw, I am going to look at it and be like, that's
Competent
quicker.
QB play.
That's better. That's recognition. There are still things that you can look at. And here's the thing. There are things that you can look at from both sides, right? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. If we're sitting here by the end of the year and we're having the Tyson Bagent versus Justin Fields conversation, go draft somebody else. But right, like listen,
You shouldn't be having a conversation.
if we're having that conversation, like definitively, like we don't know which one's better, just go find somebody else. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. But to me, I'm looking at, for all I'm looking to see from Bagent realistically, and in these next couple of games, right? Because Joel just talked about Justin Fields not needing surgery. That means the return time will be a little bit quicker. Hopefully, that's just something you can tape up that hand on. But if over the next couple of games, we're consistently seeing Tyson Bagent hit those guys that Justin Fields at times missed, right? Like Justin Fields' misses are magnified because
every time they
the
throw,
other times we see them try to run something is a 15-yard pass down the field, and he don't have time for that to develop.
it's just like, common sense stuff. If you're going 3rd and 7, or I just want to see some more creativity, and I'm just tired of seeing this bad product on the field. And then it's the blame game. And it's like there was a lot of hype. Like, everybody was fooled coming into this season. Not just us, the national media too. We've said this before. So if Fields coming back, I mean, to me, that shows me that he wants to play. He's a leader. I kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like if we get the right coach, we keep him. We don't have to move on from him. Even if we do draft a quarterback, number 1, then there's still leverage. Like, I don't know. It just drives me crazy because we have options, but we're still rebuilding this team. And we don't, until we know what the real vision is. Because let's just say they move on from Eberflus, even the defense, they're moving away possibly from this cover 2. And so like you just said, if we're over here looking at Chase Young, I'm fine with it too.
Hey, look, we can still play a 4-3. We don't need this.
I'm fine with that, which means that, so we go to a basic 4-3 then.
Yeah, I would go give me base. I just hate how, here's the thing. I don't mind you running a 42 nickel, but run an aggressive 42 nickel.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just
I don't like. I
defense.
hate conservative play. Now, granted, right? Like, listen, we're missing a lot of DBs. They don't have a lot of options. That's the part about football that is the hardest thing in the world, right? Like, listen, if we lose Zach LaVine on the Bulls, I got DeMar DeRozan, I got Vooch. Kobe White seems like he can score the basketball all of a sudden. I got 3 dudes out there that should be able to put up 25. If I lose my starting DB in football, I lost one of the most important pieces on the defense. Because the
outside
next
of the
dude I'm
line,
sliding in on the
Yeah.
Bears is Tyreek Stevenson. He just figured out what an NFL defense looked like. You know what I mean? Like it's a much harder thing to adjust to. So while I don't give you as much slack as one for 1 and 5.
Look at this chat from Knowledge Untamed. Like, to me, that would be hilarious if that's actually true.
Okay, so Jim Harbaugh called Hallis before they hired Flus. Ownership would not let
I don't
Foles
believe that.
interview him. Harbaugh reached out. Ownership refused. Why? Because they're cheap. And the rumor was Harbaugh. And,
Well, I mean,
okay.
I'm not. I
I guess
don't know about the cheap.
he's
The
gonna
cheap
finish
thing is
that.
not that, but it's more about, is the ownership consistent with not wanting a certain personality
I
coach?
still don't buy that they didn't want. Here's the thing.
I don't buy into any
want
of
the
these
chip
particular
here.
rumors. Like, does this happen in every fan base? Is it just the Bears?
What?
No, this happens everywhere. The rumor.
Does every fan base have like a consultant that comes in and does this secret hiring behind everyone's back and
Well,
everything like that? Is this?
I think it's because the Bears have done that consistently, but I think that this time is different. And the reason I believe that this time is different is because, to me, Ryan Poles wouldn't have come here if it wasn't.
Mhm.
They've let him do everything else his own way. Like, literally, like what we're
That's-
seeing has never been done.
true.
Nobody sitting here right now has ever lived through a Chicago Bears rebuild like this. Ever.
No,
Ever.
yeah,
The Bears
you're
have
right.
never torn it down.
Yeah, I guess.
Like they've pieced pieces back in, right? Like you
Mhm.
find it only like you go for it every year. Some years you just suck. You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing.
Well,
with, like I look at somebody was like the Milwaukee Bucks won a championship by tanking. No, they didn't. They just was trash. It just happened to be that way. They're just trying to win them games. Like
But we don't know what's going on up in there. If Poles is saying, "Well, that's just what I wanted," maybe not. It's just funny that the coach was practically lined up when the GM was hired. You know, like, how do you get in your job and then you got to assess everything, and then you're going to make one of the most important decisions of your franchise?
because Joel, if I know I have the job and I have to wait till the paperwork is signed, I'm not going to tell you that I'm already doing my job.
I'm just no. You got to get in there. You got a scouting staff. You have
That
player
don't mean he
personnel.
wasn't in there.
You have.
But if he say he was in there,
well, I don't know. We don't know what's going
well,
on.
I'm just saying.
The
If
point
if
is,
we
it's still
speculating
an
on that
L.
side, I'm gonna speculate on the other
It's
side.
still
My
an L.
speculation
we're gonna
is
go back for you. Yeah, go ahead. What? What?
Ho, ho, hey,
Hey,
ho,
what?
hey,
Yep.
ho,
Go back.
hey.
I think
Where's Chuck Swirsky when you need him? Shout out, fan of the show. But no. What I'm saying is, like, if we could speculate, speculation could go all over the place.
yeah, no.
Right? I can sit there and tell you that Ryan Poles already had his coach picked out, and the Bears hadn't signed the paper on the dotted line. And then if we find out that he's interviewing coaches before he's hired,
Mhm.
now the Bears got a fine.
I don't know. Either way, it's still an L. This is not winning.
But
or
you know
working.
what? To your point earlier, Joe, because I just wanted to make mention.
Huh?
Oh,
Oh, you gonna
onions,
jump
baby.
in? What?
Onions.
Jump.
You got me? Are we here? Oh, all right.
Let's go.
No, so to your point earlier about maybe keeping Justin and then bringing in another quarterback and them kind of duking it out, I don't see that as an actual smart move, because if we're in a rebuild, you need to make sure that you're drafting at legit positions. You don't need to like double up on the quarterback position unless you're talking about drafting the quarterback later on. But if you're talking about bringing Caleb Williams up in here and keeping Justin,
No, I wasn't
That's not
saying
smart.
that. I wasn't saying that. I was saying that, and on one train of thought was that if we in one way we keep Fields and we get the right coaches to tailor the scheme to him. If it doesn't work, you still keep Fields because you could eventually trade him and still get. He's worth a decent draft pick, and now you still.
He ain't worth the second or third no
Well,
more.
you still got to get Caleb Williams or whatever the best quarterback is with a coach to tailor the system around this guy. Like either way, we need to get a tailored system to make this thing work.
yeah.
How much did Dallas have to spend for Trey Lance?
For who?
Did Dallas have to spend for Trey Lance?
Peanuts.
Oh, Trey Lance. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
a sixth. I think it was a conditional
Yeah,
sixth or
it was
something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing crazy.
Hold on, what? Because that's what you're gonna get with
No, you're
Justin
not.
Fields. Maybe no, you're
Oh,
gonna get like
no,
a
no,
fourth.
No,
You're the
because
fourth. You're the
No
fourth.
way.
because people
Horn for that one.
Because people will look at Justin, and it's not about his play.
You tripping, Pete.
It's not about his play. It's about he's been on the field more. Trey Lance, all you saw of Trey Lance was a game, broken leg, a game, broken wrist.
Yeah.
I said a fourth.
No, you said
No,
a
you
six.
said
You said a
six.
sixth.
I
change
said
it
a
up.
four. I correct myself and said a fourth. You can play the tape back. I don't have to sit there and go.
Oh, you
over
said
that.
they was
You
giving
said
a shot for
six.
Trey Lance.
We heard you.
The whole
Fourth.
point is
Oh,
that
they traded a fourth for Trey Lance?
whatever. The whole point is that
No, they gave
Fields
him
has
six.
shown a little bit more and has more promise. And I just think that this is what we're all worried about is that if he was to get the right system for him, he may not be the greatest passer, but he's a moderate passer, but with his running ability. And I think the Bears just don't want that. But I think Anthony Richardson just showed you an example of why they don't want you running all the time, because the dude played how many games? 3-4 games, and already tore his shoulder up.
He got injured every game.
Yeah, like you can't do that. You have to be able to methodically move the pocket, move the ball from the pocket. And maybe Fields has
He's
limitations.
something else, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. He thought I'm 6'5". These linebackers ain't gonna hit me.
That man thought he was gonna truck grown men and learn the hard way.
Well,
He's like, you ain't Cam Newton. Sit down.
This is my favorite thing about the NFL too. If you in it long enough, people just forget. I love when people bring up Jim Caldwell. Like Jim Caldwell didn't have one of the worst NFL seasons of all time as well.
Yeah, didn't they go?
Wait, didn't he go 0-16?
No, that was.
Was he 1-15? It was another Jim.
No, that was Jim Moore. No, not Jim Moore.
No, that was the defensive coordinator we
I know
had.
exactly.
No,
what
Jim
you're
Moore
talking
was the one that was
know.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
No, that was that wasn't at our DC that we had for a while
I know who you're talking about.
from Tampa and all that. God dang it, what's his name?
Hey, Dimitri, I'm with you. Penix is a dog. That kid.
I don't like,
I
how,
don't-
I don't like how he spelled his
he-
last name. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's
Yeah,
not
I don't like that
dog.
either. But I'm
Hey,
gonna say
I don't
this.
like how he spells his last name.
I'm gonna
Too
say
many
this.
letters in a row. Jim Schwartz, shout out Baki.
I'm gonna say this to
Oh, there you go.
Jim
for
Schwartz
everybody.
was the dude that went 0-16.
I got you. I'm gonna say this to everybody in the chat on the show. Period. I don't care what quarterback we get next year, as long as he can read a defense. So I don't care if it's Caleb Williams, if it's Michael Penny from Washington.
What'd you say?
Penny. I don't care. Just get me a quarterback that can read a defense. That's what I want.
I mean, listen, I want somebody that's protected. I don't care who's back there.
Yeah, Rob Marinelli. I thought it was Rob Marinelli that
I
went
think they both
0-16.
did.
Huh?
I think they both did.
Yeah, he was because he became our
I think they both
DC.
went
I thought it was Rob
0-16.
Marinelli.
They both was trash.
It was horrible.
Hey, listen,
Jim Schwartz was
Jim Schwartz. Did Jim Schwartz have a good record? I don't think he had a good record either.
Oh,
Jim Schwartz.
with the
I got a
Lions?
fact check before y'all put that in the chat, man.
Hey, man, listen. You got ethos already. No, but to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I've been on record saying this.
Oh, no,
100%. 100% of the time. I'd rather know. I would ride out the rest of Justin's contract and know that the offensive line is fixed versus go drafting another kid to reset whatever clock you want to reset, because you're gonna be resetting his clock with a hole in the offensive line that's a gaping hole.
I like the direction that you're
Unless you
thinking.
get 1 and 2. If you get
No,
1 and
I
2.
like your direction of it's following the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs, model. Like, because Alex Smith was pretty much an underwhelming number 1 overall pick, right? I mean, he didn't really, shock the league when he played. He was average.
Yeah.
And they built that team up. They were 13-3. They had a couple 13-3 years. And so the defense, the O-line, and if that's where we're going, it's a slow rebuild, getting number 1 picks, because they had number 1 picks over there in Kansas City on that offensive line.
Yeah.
Eric, whatever his name was, and a couple other guys that were like top offensive linemen. And so
Fisher.
There you go, Eric Fisher.
Bro, first thing I'm like, Eric Snow. No, he was just fat.
Wow.
I was trying to remember. Speaking of fat, side note, may I approach? Hey, did y'all see Raymond Felton?
Oh my
No,
God.
he's out of shape.
My
That man.
God. They did like a bring back old players to New York thing
Oh no.
for the Knicks. Raymond Felton was running like the fat kid that everybody knew in the neighborhood that used to be bringing up the rear, like with the arms back. Like
No. he got depressed when
Bro,
when was it the GM messed up that whole New York squad. They had a whip. And freaking Melo destroyed it because he wanted to get his money.
Shout out to Javier said, "Let that brother eat. He retired."
Right. No, he ate himself into depression.
You can eat, but brother, don't come back for the game, brother. Raymond Felton looked like he could play offensive line for us right now.
They going in on this man,
bro. Raymond was big, bro.
I like V-Dog's question. He says, question for the panel. Speaking of potential franchise quarterbacks struggling terribly, is it time to put Deshaun Watson in that category as well? They messed his whole career up when he had to sit like that.
That always messes your career up.
Yeah,
but I thought Deshaun was good enough to fight back from it.
I think we all did.
I thought Deshaun was good enough to fight back from it. But I mean, like, bro, like
he's only played 9 games since his suspension.
He has, but there's also isn't there some controversy on that one with you know what I mean? There's some controversy on that one that he can come back and play, and he's just choosing not to because he's got his money, basically.
No, there's not no controversy on that. The man is legitimately hurt, and they told him to sit.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, there's a funny thing with this. I get that like Trevor Lawrence playing bad. Trevor has played all last season. He's played this season. Right. Joe Burrow playing bad all last season. This season, hurt or not, he's playing. This man was literally not able to play or practice with the team for a year and a half. Yeah, it's going to take him a season to get back in rhythm. Like, I'm not a Deshaun defender, but it's like it makes perfect sense. You need more than 9 games of professional play to say, oh, he's washed. Like, I can't get with that. That doesn't make sense considering the situation. It just doesn't rhyme with me.
I think
then on one of those, I think didn't he have a game where he was like 81% from? It was like a historic stat for the Browns. He was like 81% from the field.
If he has a torn rotator cuff, it's a wrap. It takes a minute to heal from all that type of stuff.
Is that what the injury is? They said he's throwing at practice.
Yeah, but he's not.
Ain't no way he's throwing at practice with a torn rotator cuff.
I mean, Baker Mayfield was throwing. I mean,
not really. That was the problem.
Drew Brees had a shoulder issue. Like
that was the problem. Baker was. That's why Baker they got him up out.
But am I wrong on that? Didn't he have like a 80, like 79, 80% completion rate on one of the games back? Was it last season? This season? He had like a really strong game.
He got an 81% completion. Oh, versus the Titans though. Man was throwing 2-yard passes.
Yeah,
I mean, versus the Titans or not, everybody who else played the Titans threw for 81%.
Hey, Jussie Q just said the coaches just need to massage his talents out of him.
Relax.
Come on, man.
Relax.
You know what? That went right over my head when I saw that, but that makes so much sense.
Christ, guys.
And there you have it, homeboy.
This is
no, Pat. Average yards per throw was 8 yards. Now that's a pretty solid game.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like you got to stay. It's like working out or just even basketball. And when you take time off, you can't.
Football
stop.
is one of those sports you almost never see somebody take that much time off and come back the same.
Yeah, it's
like I even think of like the easiest thing in the world to do would be tough and run the football. Marshawn Lynch came back. Man. I was like, go back in retirement. Go back in retirement.
Michael Vick. He came back and played well. He's
2-1 as a starter.
That joker was in jail.
He was in jail. He wasn't in jail.
Oh, Mike Vick did play well.
Worse. He was in jail playing though. Hey, Vick was in jail legitimately playing for the jail football team. I think that's facts. If I'm not.
Is that the longest yard?
You said what?
The longest yard.
Is that the script for the longest yard? Did he really do
legit? Like I remember seeing highlights of that of him in jail playing. Wasn't Kevin Porter doing the same thing?
Oh.
Kevin Porter was playing basketball in jail.
Kevin Porter.
I said, "Good Lord, dog. Let 2 minutes go by without being on social media." Who recorded that?
So what's Wash though? Because he's 2-1 as a starter.
He's not. They want him to look like the MVP wasn't.
Listen.
He's not Houston.
You got to give him time to come back. I mean, he's completing 63% of his passes, 678. But I think for me, I thought he was going to come back as a much stronger player.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna I didn't think he was gonna be Deshaun in Houston, but usually when you see players with that level of talent, like you mentioned, Michael Vick, take time off and come back, it's usually not
steep drop off.
Yeah, I mean, like it's usually not like it's usually like, oh, okay, he got to knock some rust off. That was like,
hey, dude,
I expect him to.
Justin Fields had 10 days off and played Sunday like he had a year off.
That's a bar. We normally don't put comments up here that aren't super chats, but that is an absolute bar.
That was a bar. I ain't gonna lie.
That's funny. Love you
Hey,
too, Gustavo.
Appreciate y'all for showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. What's up, Joe?
Before we get out of here,
What we got?
in terms of coaching, I've seen in the chat too, Byron Leftwich would be a guy I like because I like that toughness that he admits. He's shown that he can definitely call plays. Like you talking about the Ben Johnson guy, but I mean, I remember the Marshall game with the broken leg and the toughness that he had to play through. Like that type of like, hopefully that's a leader of men, you know, because I would be.
I think we saw that that's an issue though, didn't we?
What's that?
Didn't we see that that's an issue? He's the one that was in Miami, wasn't he?
Tampa. He's talking about. He's a Tampa offensive coordinator.
I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking.
You talking about like Flores or something?
Yeah, I'm thinking Flores. Go ahead. Yeah. Which point?
No, I mean, I would rather have an experienced coach and that's done it. But if of the rookies, I actually would like Leftwich better. I mean, I don't know about the Bieniemy thing. Like,
I mean, he got the head coaching opportunity last year with Tom, though, right?
No, he's not. He's still OC.
He head coached the year that what's his name?
Was he interim? That's good. That's good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think he stepped aside because he was terrible.
Maybe you still got to cut your teeth. I mean
like
you lose time, Ray.
Makes it a lot harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know.
But no, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think for me, the one thing that I want to see coaching wise is just consistency. That's the one thing that irritates me about Flus. I'm not gonna lie to you. I could deal with a lot with Flus. That was Todd Bowles. Shout out to Chi-Town IBA. We all over the place today.
Hey, this is a gumbo show, right?
It's
here.
a gumbo show.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I want to see
me?
with the Chicago Bears that I feel like we haven't seen since Lovey. Love him or hate him. I knew what I was getting every single week with Lovey.
Lovey just used to drive me crazy.
Exactly. Drove you.
Whatever happened to this position that what's the name was hiring for? Did he announce Lovey yet? And what's happening with that?
No, they got it.
Phil Snow.
Yeah. Some
He
guy.
hired who?
Exactly.
Exactly.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Who?
Who? Exactly.
Where's that guy from?
Knowledge said y'all racists mixing up Todd Bowles and Brian Flores.
hey.
Hey, what are you gonna do? But no, I just want to see consistency. Consistency in something. My issue with Matt Nagy would seem like he figured it out, and then he would want to go back to proving that his system worked. My issue with Mark Trestman was he looked like he had no idea how to be a leader in a room. And he couldn't figure out the consistent way to lead the team.
He was a good OC, not a head coach.
I don't even know if he was good.
Hey, Pepper, let me ask you this.
We
did pretty good offensive.
Can I ask y'all this?
But MC, Phil Snow is a college guy, but he was the DC of the Panthers the last 3 years. They were terrible.
Can I ask y'all this? Like, what if this is legitimately like what I saw? He dumbed down the playbook, ran a certain subset of plays that Justin executed well in practice, and then started to try to ease him into the rest of the playbook and realized it went disastrously, and then reverted back. Like, what if that's the case here? Because that's a sign of a good OC, like someone who's trying to, all right, these work. All right, let's execute that. All right, we showing out 2 games. Cool. Let's see if we can add a little more. Okay, that's not working. We're gonna go right back. But Justin got hurt by then.
You talking about Getsy versus the Vikings?
I'm just saying. I'm asking a question because like we did a lot. Like the OC has made some terrible play calling. I give him that. But because I always question whether or not Justin's even executing or looking in the right direction now, like that's a real question now. Like it's a national media topic. People are like, hey man, the kid didn't pick up a lot. Like that's really happening now. It's not a P kid thing.
I love
so like because you're questioning that, like how much is it possible that it's like a mixture of both? Getsy was trying to put too much on him, tried to run his system. All right, that didn't work. We revert back to just what Justin's comfortable with, and then slowly add on. And then we realize, okay, maybe we're just limited to these 8 plays.
Well, I think I've said this consistent. I expect Bajan to look better than what he looked in that last game because
he got reps.
Not even that. The number one thing that was messed up in that last game was the center to quarterback snap. I asked Jericho today, I said, as a defensive lineman, how do you feel if the center and quarterback aren't on the same page. He was like, my day's easier.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a day that was easier versus Danielle Hunter, who's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. You're setting predict. Now, listen, he also, again, Yurko today also called out, this is for tomorrow's episode. Y'all ain't seen this yet. He also called out, that's, by the way, that's why I'm wearing the same shirt tomorrow as I am today. I had to record 2 episodes today.
I thought
Y'all
you
called
smelled
that.
funny.
Shut your.
Oh,
Hey, yo, almost. But no, I asked him basically, you know, like when you saw, remember Darnell Wright pops out, takes on the safety, and Deontay Foreman comes up to block Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
I said, Flus basically said, we don't teach our guys to do that.
right.
He said he's full of it because they were in sync. Plays don't run that smooth if you don't practice them that way.
Correct.
So I don't know whether Flus is lying yet again or not. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've called him out twice this season, three times this season already for just blatant lies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just blatant like, well, we don't know. I don't know. I want to go with the experienced guy. Just blatant lies. I don't know.
You got a rich.
He's trying to do his version of Bill Belichick. It's not working.
No, here's the thing. Bill Belichick will tell you the truth. It's just mean truth.
Mm.
And if he don't want to tell you what it is, he'll look you in your face and go, hey, you know I'm not going to tell you. Mind your own business. God dang, Bill.
This is
Next
what happened.
question.
You know what I mean? Like, so like that's why to me, and when I saw the play, when I watched it back on the All-22, I was like, maybe Cody Whitehair called the wrong protection. But that looked smooth. It just didn't work. It looked like it's a smooth play.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that they're practicing things that are very interesting concepts, shall we say. That means that your center to quarterback scenario was terrible. My reasoning for why Bajan is going to be better is because you put back in Lucas Patrick, who, while he has his problems blocking, the snap is better. And when the offensive line looked good in that game, in the previous 2 games, he was out there.
That's what they signed him for, though. That was one of Poles' first signings. He got him, and he tried to get old boy. They went to Ogunjobi, right?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Ogunjobi.
Larry Ogunjobi.
He tried to get him.
Thank God that didn't work.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was high on him.
Nah, I was not.
I apparently was high.
I thought Poles was high.
Like,
you know,
man.
you get a dude and you go find his highlights and you like, hey, that looked good. And then you be like, hey, wow, that was 3 minutes.
Like it's very
You
short
know what I
video.
mean? He got a 5-year career going on right now. He got 3
Yeah.
highlights, bro. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Coaching is definitely an issue. The part that has been lost throughout this week, though, is the players didn't play well. Larry Bourne, false start. How many holding calls did we see? How many, bad snap? The players didn't play well. Your players have to play well. It puts your scheme in a bad position. Listen, there's trash everywhere to go, right? Like, oh, literal doo-doo water over there. Literal doo-doo water over there. It's everywhere.
Did you see the?
I feel like we need hazmat suits.
There was a post of Whitehair. He straight missed the whole block, and he blocked his own. Walked it to
own guy.
Nate Davis.
He blocked. It was Darnell Wright.
Darnell? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Horrible.
Now,
blocked his own guy, bro.
Now, Yurko was laughing about that because he said, when you're in the offensive line, means I don't want to see this happen. I don't care whether that's what they do or not. But he was laughing about it because he said, in the offensive line room and stuff like that, they say, don't just do nothing. Do something. Hit somebody. I don't care if it's your own teammate. Hit somebody. So he was like, that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Cody was so bad that we zoomed in on him.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it was obvious.
It was just funny to me.
He's
out.
Bro, that was crazy, bro. But hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I think we may be doing a Bulls live call, but that depends on what this traffic looking like on the way home. Because the Bulls are playing right now, right? What time the Bulls play? Are they playing right now? I think they're playing right now.
Game's just started.
Did it? Did the game just start? We may get a live call in here. If not, we'll see you guys.
I might as well stick around
on the other side. Yeah, game about to start right now. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. We'll be back on the other side with another Bulls live call for the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. We got JC in the building as well. And of course, the super producer Joel Holt,
Get that bald.
or
sexy-
Chi-Town Javier.
Look at that.
The
The bald, sexy black guy. Put it back on the screen.
What?
whoa,
What happened?
There you go. I'm just,
I don't
I'm
know
just
what
messing with
is,
you.
What
is
just
on
happened?
right now,
Throw a
man. What's
flag.
going on, out there in
Throw a
Indiana,
flag.
bro?
Hey, look, or Chi-Town Javier has dubbed Joel the Mark Trestman apologist.
Oh,
I'll
God.
stay safe about that.
Mark
shit.
Trestman- what? Get him out of here.